Courtney, we got so much going on. I'm not even going to drive the conversation. Just give us an update, start and end anywhere you want in the 8.5 minutes we have. Well, go ahead.
Well, hey, John, good morning. Thanks for having me again. So I think the most important update right now is that Senator Sean Still, who was indicted in Fani Willis's RICO indictment a couple weeks ago, was determined that he was not going to be removed from office temporarily while the investigation and the trial is going on here. In Georgia, our state constitution requires that if one of our elected officials is under investigation, has been indicted, the governor has to appoint a three-person panel to determine if that person is fit for office during that time, and if the trial or if the lawsuit is going to adversely affect the duties of that elected official. So last week, Chris Carr, Majority Leader Steve Gooch, and in the House, you had Chuck Abstration. They determined that Senator Sean Still was fit for office and that he did not need to be temporarily removed, which is great news. A win on our side, I think, and kind of something that we thought maybe the governor wasn't going to appoint people that would determine that. So, I know that you don't give a lot of kudos to Kemp often, but I think that this panel did determine properly that Senator Still he should stay in his position. And remember, when he was in office, he wasn't even in office when he was one of the alternate electors. So the fact that this was even a problem was kind of ridiculous to me. But in addition to that, you also have a trial coming up in the end of October 23rd. You have Kenneth Chesbro and Sidney Powell's, their trial won't begin, but their jury selection will begin for their trial. So that's another big update here in Georgia. We don't really know what's going to happen with that. We also don't know when that trial is actually going to happen. Remember, Fani Willis still has the infamous gang RICO case in Fulton County, the YSL trial, and it's taken her at least 9 months to pick a jury in that case. So I can only imagine how long it's going to take to pick a jury in this case, much less, push to March of next year to pick a jury with everybody else, with all the other 17 co-defendants. So there's lots going on here, John.
So as far as this trial coming up, what do you see? Kind of lay this out for us.
So like I said, so in October, what they're going to do is they're going to, between now and then they have discovery. So both sides get to file discovery, and you ask questions and you ask for documents, and those get produced by either side. But in addition, the most important part of this, like I said, is jury selection. And the problem is this is in Fulton County. And you have so many people in Fulton County that have an opinion about this case, that have preconceived notions about who's innocent and who's guilty. So picking a unbiased juror is going to be near impossible, especially in Fulton County, much less the metro Atlanta area. So that's going to take, I would assume, at least like the YSL trial, 8 to 9 months to figure out. And then that's when you're going to start your trial. And I have no idea. They haven't, I don't know who the witnesses are yet. We don't know. I'm sure that will be public as soon as they decide to do that, their pretrial conference. And so that trial alone, I'm assuming, is also going to take weeks. It could take months, depending on the amount of witnesses. So you're looking at, and that's also going to be during the same exact, in my opinion, jury selection that all the other 17 co-defendants are going to be trying to find their own jurors for that trial as well. But Judge McAfee said last week that most likely there's going to be more than 2 trials, that the other 17 defendants are likely going to end up having to split their trials. It's just too much for the DA's office to handle. It's too much for Fulton County to handle all at once. I can't even think of the last time we've had a trial with 19, much less 17 defendants in it here in Fulton County. And the office itself is not meant to try that many people at once. You're going to have motions, you're going to have cross motions. And right now, you're going to start seeing in the with everybody else, with Mark Meadows and with David Schaefer, you're going to see motions for summary judgment, motions to dismiss, and those, you get 30 days to respond, both sides to respond and reply. So we have a very long road ahead of us. You have a lot of work that these attorneys are going to be doing. You are going to be putting these defendants through chaos in life in general. And this is all leading into the 2024 election cycle. It needs to be noted that this is clearly trying to interfere with that election, which is ironic because she's trying to, indict Trump for election interference, but she's doing the exact same thing here.